The very first time I met Patty, though, was when I interviewed, and she interviewed me. And I remember asking her, about, women in the firm and how women progressed. And she said, oh, we've got this fantastic WIN program. And I thought she was a talking head. I thought, there's no way. And she pulled out these statistics that she had, and she said, we track this. And I was so impressed by the fact that she had this readily available to show. But, that was Patty. She was always prepared.
So my first impressions are very vivid. I can remember really sitting at her feet and learning about the importance of risk management within Deloitte. And I knew right from that moment that I too wanted to aspire to be a QRM.
The first time I met her was probably back in 1998. We actually went to lunch together while we were at this client, and we really got to know each other for the first time then. It was actually a funny story because I knew of her and I noticed that her name had changed, and I'd asked her, oh, congratulations, I think you must have got married. Well, it turns out she'd got divorced.
She was the first outsider to become the chairman of the IIA. And despite reaching a partner and the chairman of this august group, she didn't have any of that. She was still a great human, but she was real.
Trustworthy, loyal, being helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, clean, and most important, reverent towards the function of QRM.
The thing we will miss about Patty is her honesty, humility, and dedication to helping others.
Patty was the queen of quality, right? So quality, quality, quality. Quality mattered in everything we did.
She was always committed to high quality, and one of the things that she often used to critique folks on were their incorrect use of grammar. So, and I think she perhaps knows this, but she became known informally as the grammar queen.
She's the most motivational person I know. And in fact, when you think about some of her real skill sets around grammar, around the ability to construct a sentence, I mean, these are the things that Patty is known for.
She's been a person that has led our risk function, our internal audit risk function, and I've served with her as a deputy and have looked to her as a mentor for advice and recommendation. So oftentimes when things are very challenging, I go to her to get advice, suggestions, etc. Personally, what I will miss about Patty is, our friendship. Over the years, I worked very closely with her, and I certainly consider her to be a mentor and someone that I looked up to for advice, etc. But I think the thing that I miss the most about her now is her friendship.
Patty, I'm sorry to see you go. I'm envious to see you go. I think you're obviously off on a new adventure and going to have a great time, and we'll miss you.
So if there's any advice I would have for Patty, there are two things I would say. One is you won't travel as much now in retirement, but when you do travel, remember that plane you're on is not a Messerschmitt.
Well, the one thing I learned about from Patty, and I think it's so important, that us QRMs remain humorless. And so in my dealings with Patty, at all times there was never any humor in our relationship.
Not a lot of significant false fronts, no major errors, no fancy shoes.
She'll know what I'm talking about.
My heel height perhaps wasn't the same as what she would have recommended.
I've taken over the position that she held before, so I'm now stepped into her shoes, which are very big shoes to fill.
Do we know whether or not she's signed an access letter that includes a release?
Patty, 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 Patty.